As we're going for it. Now into Cole. First of all, only with Ceased and Smoke as well as a kit. Coldzera though, not really interested in that. Finding himself Ceased in the end. That is the first player down. Hobbit hears those steps. Now he needs to become the USPS king. No chance. So he takes him down. Doja to be the one. At least finds Fallen. That B side control. Fairly easy taken. Only Adrenaline life. At least that one shot he's getting. There it goes. Oh no, that was fairly fast. Doesn't hear any steps though, but he could be that one player to change that one out. Dren sees the head of Fallen, rips it off. Clear and clinical. Dren, he might just find himself more perfect headshot angle, whilst from behind we see Ceased coming. Is he being expected from anyone? He waits. Oh, this patience is crucial. Gets himself Coldzera. That bomb is down, and so pressure starts to build up onto Gambit Esports, as only Fur is alive, and he has to fight against 3 players from the CIS region, with Doja, Ceased, and Adren having control over the site, over the bomb, and over most of the directions. Ceased hits the right timing, and there goes. We're back to a 4 versus 4 with the A site being nearly 100% clear. Fallen was just about to find Hobbit. Oh, and that looked like the angle could have been 100% on, but it wasn't the case. Fallen taken out, 3 more are alive. Our Gambit able to extend their lead. Will SK finally strike? That being said, Fur finds himself a Dren. Another frag comes in from Bolts. There it gets dangerous. Only Fur is alive. They need to find the player. Mo has the kit. You can come in there in time and defuse that thing right the way you need. So Dren, there he stays on the top. Tries to find himself the first. Does that together with Mao. On the top, there's a Bolt reacting in time, and there once more. So focused on that A site. That's so well done. We barely saw B-side aggressions. Hobbit can't connect there onto Coldzera. Bolt's just waiting behind the piece of wood. Hoping for the right timing. One finds him out. That's not going to be the case. Gambit, they will not secure the number 5 for themselves. First shot, which could have been very crucial, and Doja, he's aware where Bolts is standing. That information given away to Adren, and Doja finds that frag onto Bolts. There's the flashbang working out perfectly, and Stewie's taken out, but Coldzera's still alive. 3 players left onto Gambit. Air smoke fades. Fallen can react in time, though. Does he have the right angle to find Doja, though? That's the kind of question we need to ask ourselves. Coldzera has a tiny gap for the wood to look through. Both players' positioning is quite well done. Hobbit takes his time, goes for a good smoke, blocks off the vision. A tiny gap in it. Passing there. So Coldzera on his own to be the last one on the site. They tried to build up that crossfire. One coming in from Hobbit needs to turn around because there's still an op behind him. But he just pulls through. He just pulls through, and there's just 2 more seconds. 1 more second. Fallen, are you coming in time? He does. And on the Brazilian side are going full throttle. And interested in aggression. Adren doesn't see a thing. And they're on the spot and on shore before everything started. Doja stops him though, as he's not interested in having any kind of guys just back on his site. They don't belong there. Get away with those aggressors. As Adren Doja don't have the opportunity to do it on his own. He's on his 3rd already. Possibly interested in more. Does this become an X-God ace? Possibly. Who's behind? Don't knife him. Doja, don't do it. He doesn't, and he aces it on his own. Takes down. Right now, we might just have the same thing here once more. Stewie finds himself a Dren. Crucial frag happening. That being said, Ceased gets Fallen. 3 versus 4. The CT site, not the strongest one right now. As Mount, yeah, players coming from left, right, and center. Hobbit needs to do it on his own. Rips off the head of Bolts, fairly good. 60 more seconds though, so no time pressure really on the SK Gaming side, and a great crossfire they have built up. They tried to fake it out. Hobbit, no chance against Fur. He falls. seeing it right here. And a Seized finding Fallen, coldzera getting Seized in the return. Those Moss shots. It's a horrible spray pattern. It's 25 bullets. It's not the best thing to really work with. As Doja finds coldzera, only Fur as well as Stewie alive. That bomb's going down. 18, 45, and 100 left on the Gambit site. Not a single kit we're seeing at that point in time. That means the retake has to be fast forwarded just a little. 3 plays around it. Finds Doja by accident, I think, as he just shoots for the smoke, not even intentionally. That happening right now. 2 more are hiding themselves. That will be a tough retake. First one to find. Fur just relaxes. As he finds himself one, finds himself Hobbit as well. And that means... Back in the corner, finds himself a double. That bomb is now in his favor, whilst coldzera, though, takes him out. That was a very nice defense we've just seen there through Connector, and I'm sure Seized has hurt bolts. From that point on, it shouldn't be too hard to take out the Brazilian. It's very casually stands open on the side. Seems like no one checks for Seized. There he finds the first, and there he finds the second together with Doja. That's patience. The backstab onto the American. You're not welcome, Stewie. No, just kidding. But there he finds himself Mo, the first one to get. Beautifully done it. And gets him with ease, though, as he was only down to something around 30 HP. It wasn't too hard to put a few bullets into him. Stop getting bolts through the corpse. Fur finds himself Seized. But as we see right now, SK have 2 low HP players onto themselves. A good spray, and both are taken out fast. Whilst we're seeing that, though, B-side is going to be aggressed. Already control has been found by coldzera. But tries to keep the attention all onto him. That was well executed. coldzera, oh, he comes from behind. And does he find Hobbit? No, he keeps his trigger unsqueezed. Finds one. And that now brings it only down to Adren to take out 2. Back in the apartments of Fallen waits. The Molotov too late. Here's Fallen rotating back, and coldzera has no hard time finding this. Be extremely well done for SK. The Brazilians should not have a problem closing this case. coldzera talking about him, finds a beautiful shot onto Adren. Bolts back on the side, comes around. The support just arrives, Seized to take out. Not working in the end. And coldzera found also by Doja there. The defense got a little weaker, falling there onto Doja though. So Malin only Seized a few more pistol bullets. Now exactly only 1 more to find. Stewie takes him out. The double. It's getting a little bit tricky there over on B. The players pushing out in just a second. Molotov comes, first one to come in for coldzera. Bolts doesn't see a thing. Bolts isn't being spotted out either. There he is towards bench. His teammate dies. One needs to jump out. Movement options fairly low. Fallen flames away a Hobbit. Doja gets back on the side. Fallen with another shot. Getting himself a double already. There's the Molotov in combination with the AWP are working right now. Too early with that flashbang. Trying to bait out Mo. He keeps his eyes peeled though. So only the Kazakhstan player right now to rule this out for his team. Fur now gave himself away. 9 more seconds. You don't have any time to play with. This is going to be you or SK. And it is definitely that angle for himself. Well, lost in the process though. But Fur taken out. And that is a crucial fragger right now. Fallen though with the AWP. Striking at the right point in time. Fallen with the double, finding Hobbit as well. That means Doja as well as Adren have now gained control of the A site. As the AWPer was taken out, that bomb will go down. 2 AKs, sorry, correcting that, with 1 AK, 1 M4. Adren has been spotted, down to 33 he is, whilst Doja still looking good with the health. Doja, they're not having him on the radar right now. Bolt gets taken out. There's 1 more to go. 33 and 28. A single shot you need to take down coldzera. Is Adren able to do so? Yes, he does. And he secures. One Kazakhstan player could await. Adren finds 1. Takes down coldzera. Fallen is patient. Rips off his head. A few more are coming towards you though. Fallen, you need to be very cautious about it. Rips off 1. And suddenly, only Mao as well as Doja are alive, bringing it only to Fur. Over short he comes. Now he has been spotted. Thinks Doja there through the wall, but can't finish it off. That is a losing bonus. I mean, money is a nice thing. It doesn't win your rounds, necessarily. Hobbit, he definitely saw Fur and his teammate rotating out of connector. Oh, and that's not really good control. That has fallen taken out. Balls can't do anything about it. And Hobbit, who's there assisting in middle, becomes the perfect assistant to take down the short player. But Fur is not able to connect those shots. SK looked brilliant. And suddenly, they're running out of their win streak. Running out of something. SK, and 45 more seconds still left onto Gambit. So that aggression towards the B side, here it comes. Baltz with one. That is C's taken out, and the bomb now in favor of the Brazilian site. Doja does the jump. Unexpected for Baltz, 100%. There he jumps down. Fur gets himself Doja, but not much more than that. 2 versus 3, the Brazilians, including Stewie. They have that advantage. That bomb will go down, though. Stewie is silent and sneaky as the American special agent. Adren doesn't turn around, and Mo is being taken out by Cold Zero. That is the 14. Then check if they can find someone connector, and if that isn't working, cool with it. Adrendo! Oh, those shots onto Fallen and Stewie. That was a bit of surprise that he also got Stewie there as well. Tries to peek, same headshot height though. That's making it easy then for Adren. Finding himself the double. He's on the 30k right now. Doja finding Fur as well. Cold Zero as well as Baltz. They need to retake that on their own with 3 players alive. Excuse me, with 5. If just those pistols or not. Stewie will be the first one. Gets aggressively in. Finds himself Doja, and that is a big advantage point. Baltz finds Hobbit as well, and SK Gaming, they might be back on track. Baltz doesn't see a thing and finds Mo as well, which brings it into a situation where only Adren and C's are alive. That bomb needs to go down. C's goes aggressively. Does C's get denied? He does! And that is no bomb plant for Gambit, while we're seeing Adren back squatting in the corner, scared on his own. How unfortunate. At that point in time, Mo, who stands back though onto short, and he be taken out. The nade does its job well. Molotov coming down, over short. Now a Mo arrives, Fallen. Accuracy is on point with 1. And so he needs to find himself a few more there in that situation. He could be outmoved here. Gets the one onto Adren as well. Up into the apartments, another one is. And Stewie finished it off, 16-14. And SK advanced to the final.